this lecture, we will review the Cognitive Toolkit, identify the cognitive capacities, traits, and skills fostered by interdisciplinary studies. If you recall, we talked about the definition of cognition in a previous lecture, but let's just review. So cognition is a term referring to the mental processes involved in gaining knowledge and comprehension. Some of the many different cognitive processes includes thinking, knowing, remembering, judging, and problem solving. Bilash in 2017 defines cognitive capacity as the total amount of information the brain is capable of retaining at any particular moment. She gives an example of attention and points out that different activities make up different amounts of our brain's attention capacity. This is a useful definition because it explains how our cognitive capacity can be sufficient for the tasks that we are confronted with at any given point in time, or that the demands of our environment can overwhelm that capacity. Now, trait theory in psychology is based on the idea that people differ from each other based on the strength and intensity of basic trait dimensions. Individuals should be somewhat consistent across all situations in their trait-related behaviors. Traits are the building blocks of personality. So, what is a trait? In short, it is a relatively stable way of thinking and behaving that can be used to describe a person and compare and contrast that person with other people. Personality traits are usually considered distinct from mental abilities, including general intelligence, that are assessed based on how well one responds to problems or questions. I have a whole series of lectures on personality and different personality traits that you can view if you're interested more about this topic. So, personality traits, again, is usually considered distinct from mental abilities, including general intelligence, that are assessed based on how well one responds to problems or to questions. Now, in regards to skills, skill is a term that encompasses the knowledge, competencies, and abilities to perform operational tasks. Skills are developed through life and work experiences, and they can also be learned through study. There are different types of skills, and some may be easier to access for some people than others, based on things like dexterity, physical abilities, and intelligence. Now, Repko, who is a renowned author and also the director of interdisciplinary study programs in a Texas university, identifies 4 cognitive abilities, and we're talking about brain-based skills and mental processes that are needed to carry out tasks. So he identified 4 cognitive abilities that interdisciplinary learning fosters, which helps to explain the emergent popularity of interdisciplinary inquiry. They are as follows. The first one is perspective-taking techniques. This refers to the capacity to understand multiple viewpoints on a given topic. So again, not just one viewpoint, but multiple viewpoints on a given topic, including an appreciation of the differences between disciplines and especially their perspectives on how to approach a problem and their rules of evidence. Second, development of structural knowledge. This is composed of two elements: declarative knowledge, which is actually factual information, and procedural knowledge, which is process-based information, which are needed to solve complex problems. Third, integration of conflicting insights from alternative disciplines. When ideas from a variety of disciplines are embraced when investigating an issue, alternative perspectives and predictions often arise. Now, this is the challenge for you, okay? The intellectual challenge, which of course I know you're very intellectual, is to find ways to account for these, which entails careful and creative thinking rather than revert to a single disciplinary explanation. Now, fourth, interdisciplinary understanding. This entails seeing an issue from an array of perspectives, not just one, from multiple perspectives, and recognizing how each of the alternative approaches influences one another. So again, interdisciplinary understanding basically entails seeing an issue from an array of perspectives and recognizing how each of the alternative approaches influences one another. Now, Repko talks about different ways to apply your quote-unquote interdisciplinary toolkit. He suggests opportunities for you to apply and develop the tools in the Cognitive Toolkit. Opportunities include writing an intellectual autobiography, preparing a portfolio of your work, and performing service learning. So to review really quickly, when we talk about the Cognitive Toolkit and identifying the cognitive capacities, traits, and skills that fostered interdisciplinary studies, we have to understand the defining terms first. Like, for example, cognitive. What does that mean? What does cognition mean? And again, it is a term referring to the mental processes involved in gaining understanding and comprehension. And some of the many different cognitive processes include the way we think, knowing, remembering, judging, and problem solving. And when we speak of cognitive capacity, we speak of it as the total amount of information the brain is capable of retaining at any particular moment. And it is indeed a very useful definition. Why? Because it explains how our cognitive capacity can be sufficient for the task we are confronted with at any given point in time. And some of you may be asking, okay, but what task? What task are you talking about? Well, any task. Yeah, any task we are confronted with at any given point in time, or that the demands of our environment can overwhelm that capacity. You have to know what trait means, right? So there's a whole section in psychology called trait theory, and it is based on the idea that people differ from one another based on strength and intensity of basic trait dimensions. Okay, just remember this, it's important for your quiz. Traits are the building blocks of personality. All right, traits are the building blocks of personality, and also it's a relatively stable way of thinking and behaving that can be used to describe a person and compare one person from the next. And personality traits are usually considered distinct from mental abilities. It is not the same thing. And also it includes general intelligence. And absolutely remember that Repko suggests opportunities for you to apply and develop the tools in your toolkit. How? Well, these opportunities include writing an intellectual autobiography, preparing a portfolio of your work, and performing service learning. In my next lecture, I will briefly talk about academic disciplines and taxonomy. What is it? What do I mean by academic disciplines? What is taxonomy? We'll get there. I'll see you in my next lecture.